Since you already know the basic information and principles involving Incoterms, it is now ripe to tackle each Incoterm rule. Before knowing each, you have to know that again, there are two persons involved, the seller and the buyer. And the commonality that both shares is the risk involved surrounding the transfer or sale of goods. The best way to understand this is to use an illustration. And for me, the best illustration found in the internet is coming from this website. Looking at the illustration, it shows the 11 Incoterms. If there is one word that would be associated with Incoterms rules, it is basically the word risk. So, we can understand the Incoterms rules according to what, who, and when. What is the risk involved? Who should bear the risk? When should the risk be transferred from the seller to the buyer? Look closely at the illustration. It shows the period within which the seller still has the obligation, when the risk is transferred, and when it is transferred to the buyer. This is the best way to understand the Incoterms rules on a macro level. I thank VeloTrade for providing this illustration and its easy explanation in its website. Then, you just have to remember three things when you know the type of Incoterm rule agreed by the parties. A. What are the risks involved? B. Who bears the risk? And C. When is the risk attached to the seller or to the buyer? And to remember too that when the risk on the seller is high, the risk on the buyer is low. And if the risk on the buyer is high, the seller's risk is low. This is a basic principle. Clearly, once the risk is transferred, the person to whom the risk is transferred then starts to bear the obligations and consequences of the transfer. Again, there are 11 Incoterms. And among these 11 Incoterms, 7 of these apply to any mode of transport. This means ship, planes, or trailer trucks. 1. XW or X-Works. 2. FCA or Free Carrier. 3. CPAT or Carriage Paid To. 4. CIP or Carriage and Insurance Paid To. 5. DPU or Delivered at Place Unloaded. 6. DAP, Delivered at Place. And 7. DDP or Delivered Duty Paid. The other 4 apply to sea and inland waterway transport. These are 1. FAC or Free Alongside Ship. 2. FOB or Free On Board. 3. CFR or Cost and Freight. And 4. CIF or Cost, Insurance, and Freight. From these two classifications based on the mode of transport involved, you start learning each of the Incoterm rule. So we now begin with each Incoterm rule. 1. XW or X-Works. This is the most favorable to the seller. Why? Because once the goods are available at its premises or any other place determined and agreed by the parties, the risk is transferred to the buyer. Thus, all costs and risk are shouldered by the buyer, even the obligation to load the goods to the mode of transport. 2. FCA, Free Carrier. In this arrangement, the seller is responsible for delivering the goods to the buyer's chosen place of delivery. This includes shipping, export clearance, and security requirements compliance. Risk is transferred once the goods are in the buyer's place. If the buyer chose a particular mode of transport, example a ship, he shall pay the cost of freight, bill of lading, insurance, and all costs until the goods reach the final destination. 3. CPT or Carriage Paid To. The risk to the seller is increased here such that he bears all costs and risks to the buyer's chosen place of destination. However, seller is not responsible for the insurance. If the parties agree to have the insurance shouldered by the seller, then they have to consider the next Incoterm rule, CIP, or carriage and insurance paid to. The insurance is the only element that separates CPT and CIP. So we now go with the fifth Incoterm rule, DPU, delivered at place unloaded. It is previously known as DAT, or delivered at terminal. But there is a change because the place of delivery could not necessarily be a terminal. All the risks are shouldered by the seller until the goods arrive at the chosen port or terminal. Then the buyer is responsible after unloading of the goods from the port or terminal. Now, if and when the seller is not capable of unloading the goods to reach the port or terminal of destination agreed by the parties, he should consider the next Incoterm rule, which is DAP or DAP, or delivered at place. This Incoterm rule does not make the seller liable for unloading but only of delivery to the place of destination agreed upon. So, all costs attached to unloading the goods is with the buyer. 7. This is the last of the 7 Incoterm rules that apply to any mode of transport. DDP, or delivered duty paid. This means that the seller is liable for clearing the goods through customs in the buyer's country, but the seller is not responsible for unloading. This setup is where the seller bears the maximum obligations and the buyer bears the least. Seller should choose this with caution. 8. Fast or free alongside ship. This means that the seller delivers the goods alongside the buyer's vessel at the named port of shipment. You have to remember the word shipment. Once delivered in that point, the risk is transferred to the buyer. However, the seller, of course, must clear the goods for export. 9. FOB, or free on board. It means that the seller is responsible for all costs until goods are loaded to the designated vessel, including export clearance. And liability includes the unloading and local transportation costs from port of arrival to the place of final destination, agreed by the parties. However, if the goods are damaged when on board the vessel, it is the buyer who bears the damage. FOB is a commonly used Incoterm rule. 10. CFR, cost and freight. This means that the seller is responsible for export clearance and freight costs until the goods are delivered to the port of destination. If the goods are damaged on board the ship, the seller is responsible. You have to remember that CFR is used for non-containerized sea freight. If the parties chose other modes of transport and containerized goods are involved, CFR should be replaced with CPT. Last, CFI, cost, insurance, and freight. This is similar to CFR, but the seller must have the goods insured even during transit. The seller just needs to purchase the minimum level of insurance, and while goods are on board the ship, the seller is liable. Knowing the specifics of the 11 Incoterm rules is very complex. However, if your confusion sits in, you have to remember the macro-level approach of understanding the Incoterms rules. The what, who, and when questions when it comes to risk involved. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to the next lesson. Take care. Thank you.